This is Get Sellers Calling You, and I'm Beatty Carmichael. Learn more at our website at getsellerscallingyou.com. Well, hey there, this is Beatty Carmichael here in the office studio for those who are actually watching the video. I wanted to introduce this upcoming interview that I'm doing with Tammy Burnell and give you a little background on what's going on, because this is a slightly different type of interview than what I normally do. Normally when I'm interviewing top producers, the focus is how do you take a top producing agent and help them grow to even a higher producing agent. With this particular interview, I wanted to keep things a little bit at a lower level. We have a lot of agents who are coming on board listening to our podcast who are smaller agents, lower volume agents, maybe agents who have moved from one city to another, and they're basically trying to get their business started all over again. So the question is, how can you get effective at driving new transactions quickly without much money? So that's kind of the focus of this interview. Just a little bit about Tammy. Tammy's been a top producing agent since probably about 30 years. She's been a coach with Tom Ferry for over 5 years. She's moved 3 different times in her career, and each time she had to start all over. And by starting all over each of those times, she's learned a lot on what it takes to take a new business, whether you're new because you're a new agent or a new business because you're in a new city, and start from scratch. And how do you start to build it up to a strong production quickly without much money? And so that's what this interview is all about. And I think you'll get a lot out of it. I certainly learned a lot and enjoyed it a lot as I went through it. Also, real quickly, before I introduce the interview, I'd like for you to hear from a client of ours with Agent Dominator. It's just another input as to what Agent Dominator is doing for agents in the field. And if you do have interest with Agent Dominator, please visit us at agentdominator.com and check us out. So without any further ado, let me introduce our client, and then I'll come back on and introduce Tammy for our interview. Have a blessed day.
What I had been using was, are you familiar with?
Yeah, I am, very much.
Okay. He sends out, he's really into calls, notes, and pop buys and a monthly mail out and all that. And I was not seeing the results that I see from your postcards.
Can you give me some perspective? So how long were you doing the program?
A little over a year.
Okay. And in that period of time, you're targeting?
I was sending it out to my entire database, about 350, which is actually more than what I'm sending out with you guys.
Okay. So in that year, how many sales did you get from the program with 350 addresses?
Not that many. I was struggling. I was not getting anything that you could say that came from his flyer. It just wasn't there. So I don't want to cast any shadows. So, I mean, for the same money or less that I was spending with Buffini, I just closed 2 deals last week, and I have 2 listings, and actually 3. One's commercial.
Let me see if so you've been with us about 3 months, if I recall. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, so in about 3 months' time, I
have 2 closed, 2 pending, 1 active. One of those pendings is a double end.
Okay.
It's a total of 6 sides.
6 sides in 3 months from 270 of your contacts.
Right.
That's pretty exciting, isn't it?
It is extremely exciting.
Well, hey there, this is Beatty Carmichael with another edition of Get Sellers Calling You. And I have just a really special guest right now that I am super excited to share. And this is Tammy Burnell. She's actually one of our clients, but she's also a coach. And she's been coaching for a number of years. She's a strong producer. She used to be involved, coached for, I think it was 5 years with the Tom Ferry organization. And the reason I wanted to have her on is as we've worked together, both individually working together as vendor-client, and also as I've been on some coaching calls with her and other agents, and just the input that she's brought to the table, I'm going like, wow, this lady understands it. And I think you're going to get a lot out of Tammy, whether you're a newer agent, still trying to really grow your business, or even if you're a tenured agent doing 15 or 20 million a year. I think you'll get a lot out. So Tammy, let me have you say hello and tell us just a little bit about you.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me, Beatty. It's an honor and a pleasure just to know you as a person and your company. So I will say that. A little bit about me. I'm a mom first. I've got 5 kids and ages from 32 to 14. So I'm still in it as far as being a parent. That never goes away and been involved in real estate since 1988. If you can believe
Wow.
that. I'm dating myself a little bit.
1988. I think I was still in high school then.
Oh,
No.
good
I just gotten out of college. That's what it was.
Yeah, it's all good. I skipped the college thing and went right into real estate. I actually have a funny story real quick, if I might share, on
Yeah,
how I got
please. I'd
into
love to
the
hear.
real estate business. But I got a job at 16 working at Magic Mountain, and I loved working at Magic Mountain, and I loved it so much I would forget to pick up my paychecks. Well, I got out of high school and I was still working at Magic Mountain, and come from a very blue collar background. My mom was a manager for B of A and my dad worked for Lockheed. And they said, you need to get a real job. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I didn't have anything lined up. I was going to community college, but, really wasn't digging that. And so my mom, graciously got me a job as a teller at a bank. And I was the worst teller that they ever had. And I don't know if you guys even know what the word shopper means, but back in those days, and they may still do it, I don't know, but they would have B of A employees come in as customers and pretend and make sure that you're doing your job as a teller.
Right. I've heard of that.
Yeah. And so it was Friday and it was super busy. And there was this super cute guy in line. So there's 5 of us on the teller line, and I'm trying to strategically plan so I get this hot guy. Now, remind you, I'm like 18, 19.
Right. I get it.
So my focus is totally different. And anyways, long story short, I ended up not getting the hot guy in my line. I got the shoppers, and I got written up and got sent to the Sherman Oaks new training per se, and did not dress appropriately, blah, blah, blah. It was a whole mess, completely embarrassed my mom. And so I had to be on my best behavior. So this amazing gentleman came to my teller line and he says, you don't like it here, do you? And I said, no, I don't. And he says, well, I have a job opening for an executive assistant. And I thought, wow, that sounds super fancy, right?
Right.
And lo and behold, he was one of the top brokers in my city who was a project developer, developing estates, owned an airplane, owned 3 brokerages. And that's how I started. And he goes, I'll pay for your license. Just come in and interview with me. So I learned he owned rental property. I learned everything by the time I was 21. It was crazy. And that's how I ended up getting into real estate and ended up working for him for like 10 years.
Wow.
As his personal assistant and being able to buy and sell as well. So that's how I got started. But everybody, has their own story on, how they got started.
Hey, I'm curious I'm curious with that just real quickly.
Yeah.
So he is this super successful guy. We were there with him for 10 years. What would be the top 1 or 2 big takeaways that you learned from him?
Oh, the biggest takeaway, I remember him saying, I want you to be where I am at 40, at 30. And lo and behold, I was certainly not at his level because I was raising a family and stuff. But the knowledge that I gained and the wisdom, and one of the most important things is, which I made the mistake more than once, and many realtors do. And that's why I hired a coach mid-career was, don't waste a good real estate market. Don't blow it, because we all pray, God, just give me one more good real estate market. I promise to save my money. And realtors are notorious for not. And I learned my lesson on that. I'm just like all of you guys. I had early in my career made like $50,000 in 1 month, which is a lot of money. And this was like maybe 20 years ago. I took my family on a cruise. I paid off some credit cards, bought myself some nice things. And 90 days, I did not have any of that money.
Yep.
Yeah. So I can go on and on about my mistakes, but we're here I just want people to know the realist in me, that I'm very much like you, even though I've been trained for the last, 15 years on what to do and what not to do, and coached
let me ask you a
hundreds
question.
and thousands of people.
Yeah, I'm real curious. So, you go back to Gary's book, The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. One of the things that always impressed me was, said when the average person, when they hired an administrative assistant to focus, so they could focus on what they do best, their volume on average doubled that first year. But I'm curious as to what happens with coaching. Okay, so you mentioned that you were just, these are my words, you just kind of flounder to a degree on your own until you got a coach, and I'm making the assumption that just turned your business around. What was your real estate business before coaching, and then after coaching a year or two, and what was the big difference?
That's a really powerful question, and I have a really powerful answer. I had started my real estate career in Los Angeles and worked for 10 years. Then I moved after the 94 earthquake in Northridge and boogied out to Colorado and built a very successful business there for 9 years. But I got homesick, so I moved back thinking it would be easy. Oh, I know everybody. I'm from LA. I'm a seasoned agent now. And it wasn't like that. So I hired a coach. I literally had made that 50,000 because the prices were so much higher.
Right.
But then I was broke, not broke, but I certainly didn't have the 50 grand, and I was doing the real estate train that so many of them do, is you prospect, you get some things in escrow, and then you close. And that's a 90-day cycle.
And then you're back at the beginning without a pipeline. Yeah.
So what my coach taught me, and what I teach, is I don't allow you to get on that roller coaster. It's got to be a consistent day-to-day of prospecting and then follow-up. If you have no business, then we work on 4 different sources of lead generation. That could be anything from open houses to farming, to working your sphere, to working social media. I don't put people in a box. That's the big difference between me and the other coaching programs out there. Everybody has a system. And I will tell you that the systems work, but most people don't work the system. So with my coaching, what I've learned over the years is I want to learn about you. I want to learn about what your skills are, what you're willing to do, what makes you excited to get out of bed during the day, because nobody wants to get up and cold call. Nobody wants to get up and say, oh my God, I have to, prospect. But if we can make prospecting fun, where you're going out and you're talking to people and you're not, I like to say, not verbally vomit all over them and who you are and what you do.
Show up and throw
really, up. Yeah, there you go. And engage and make it fun. This business can be fun. It certainly can be grueling, and there's, a lot of suffering with real estate agents because they don't have the guidance of a coach. They don't have the guidance of a mentor. They're kind of floundering around, I don't know what to do. And when this market changes, and it will, we're going to see half of them gone. which is sad because there's a lot of newbies that have came in the market that are brilliant and good, and they're not being pointed in the right direction. They're
Right.
pointed for, and I'm not saying that old school is wrong, but some of the brokers need to step it up. Just to be honest with you, they're not, tied into, technology and what there is to offer. So it's a challenge. It's going to continue to be a challenge if you don't hire a coach that works for you.
Yeah.
I'm not for everybody. And I love to interview, and if I'm not, then I will find you a coach that works for you.
Let me talk, so we're moving into, I think, another market shift of possibly really large proportions. We're right now, as we're recording this, depending on when someone actually comes back to our channel and listens to this, if it's been an older one, we're just moving where interest rates are now starting to go back up. Inflation is increasing. And this puts a totally different market dynamic to what's going on. And one of the things I've seen just over the years is every time the market shifts, it's like you're riding in the back of a truck. You're riding on the edge of the pickup truck, sitting on the back edge of the pickup truck in the Bay Area, and it hits a big bump and you bounce out. Okay. And you have all these realtors sitting on the back of that truck. And most of them are just kind of sitting there like you see sometimes, just laborers, and it hits this great big bump, and there goes another third of the realtors because they don't know how to shift with the bumps.
Yeah.
And others are locked down and they hit the bump and they keep riding. So
right, because they don't know how to shift, or like I like to say, they don't know how to pivot.
Yes.
Or worst of all, they're not prepared to have that, savings account or back-end money. The biggest mistake I see is agents not being prepared to market.
Yes. So let me ask you a question.
Putting in some marketing budget.
Let me ask you, so to best weather a storm, I did one of my clients I interviewed, he's a top producer, and he was sharing, he's been in the business for 40 some odd years, so he's been around for a while. He said every single market shift from the super high interest rates of the Carter years all the way through, he said every single one, he entered the shift earning more money, and he exited the shift earning probably 50% or 200%, 50% to 100% more than he earned going in. He said there's a pattern, and the simple pattern that he did was always have your business, always have a source of business coming in and not lose sight of that. And you mentioned 4 things: open house, farming, sphere of influence, and social media. If I'm a lower volume agent, probably a newer agent, 3, 4, 5 years, maybe I'm 3 to 5 million in volume. What would you suggest if you're coaching me, if you're guiding me to take my business to the next level and to secure it against a shift? What do I do? How do I do it?
Well, I've always said the fastest way to a buck is through open house.
Really?
Most agents need now money.
Okay.
Okay. So that's the fastest way to get in front of buyers and sellers.
So talk to me. I have a lot of agents that tell me, Beatty, I used to do open houses and it's just a waste of my time, so I don't do them anymore. And I see you grinning, because I'm grinning as well, because I'm saying you're doing it the wrong way. So tell me, let's talk about open houses.
It's the Tammy secret, I tell you.
Okay.
I literally have been a new agent 3 times. I was a new agent in 1988. I moved to Colorado. I was a new agent then. I came back. I was a new agent again. And then I just renewed my license to just kind of come back in the market. So I get the new agent. Open houses are the best thing. That gets you in front of buyers and sellers. It doesn't cost you any money. Okay. It costs you time. Okay. So if, let's say you're brand new, you borrow some open house signs. You call listing agents and say, do you mind if I set your house open? They love that. Okay. So you borrow some open house signs if you don't have the money for it. But you should invest in open house signs. Let me give you the mistakes of why they give up on open houses, and then I'll give you a solution, if that's okay.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. So typical open house, you sit them Saturdays and Sundays. Okay. 1 to 4. Here's the problem. You should always do them on the weekend. That's good. I advise you to do them maybe after school, and I can give you some more ideas on what to do with those. But what happens is you sit it from 1 to 4. And for whatever reason, all your traffic seems to come between 3 and 4.
Right.
It's notorious. I don't know why. It's Murphy's Law. So now you have to figure out who that buyer is or who that potential seller is. Who's my client? So what most agents do, they're kind of scrambling. Oh, will you sign? Here's a flyer, right? They never get information that's accurate, ever. So don't even worry about a sign-in. Don't just blank it out. Don't even bring it. I'm going to show you how to do this. Okay. And then you end up talking to the person, that is the neighbor that's never going to buy or sell, but she's got a sick dog, but you don't want to be rude. And you just end up talking to her and saying hi and bye to, everybody else that's walked through and left. Okay. So here's the solution. When you have an open house, somebody walks in the door. This is all you do. And it's so simple. I say, hi, I'm Tammy Burnell with eXp Realty. How can I help you today? That's it. Nobody ever says that. Now, why would I say that? That seems odd, right?
Right.
Well, they're going to tell you, oh, Tammy, it's nice to meet you. I'm Beatty. You know what? I just happened to be the neighbor around the corner and saw that they, were putting in a new pool, and I just wanted to check it out. Awesome, Beatty. Go ahead and take a look. It's stunning. It's absolutely beautiful. You're not my client. Now, if there's nobody else there, I continue to talk to you. We have small chat. But guess what? There's another person and then another person that comes in. So this person comes in. I say, hi, I'm Tammy Burnell with eXp Realty. How can I help you today? Oh, Tammy, you know what? We live on the east side, but my kids, all their games and all their practices are on the west side. And I'm just really tired. So I saw you open a house sign. I thought you'd stop by. I'm like, great. I said, who is your realtor? I don't ask, are you working with a realtor? Because they'll lie to you.
I like
that.
So
I say, yeah, who is your realtor? They can't lie. It's brilliant. People just can't. They're like, oh, I don't have one. Or if they do, they say, oh, I'm working, with David over at, Remax. Oh, I love David. Great guy. Anything else I can help you with, and then you maybe continue, because you don't know that they're committed to David or not, but you'd want to be at a level of integrity.
Sure.
Okay. So they're already working with somebody. Okay. So just to review, another person walks in. How can I help you today? Okay. Then they tell you. If it's a good prospect for you, then you're like, great, who's your realtor? Oh, Tammy, you know what? We're not working with anybody. Oh, awesome. Tell me, who is your lender? 9 times out of 10, that prospective person that's walking through your open house has already met with a lender.
Okay.
Almost always, because they're kind of looking, they're actively looking, they want to know. So what you want to do is never ask them, oh, what did you pre-qualify for? That's rude and invasive. What you want to say is, oh, that's great that you're working with Mark over at ABC Mortgage. What price range are you looking at?
Great question.
Okay, so just to review, there's 3 things that you only need to say. Introduce yourself. How can I help you today? Identifies the prospect.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you working with as a realtor? You want to know, are they working with a realtor or not? Okay, if they're not, then who is their lender? And what price range are you looking at? Boom, boom, boom. You just identified a prospect in about 60 seconds.
And I love that because you don't get caught so much in conversation with those who aren't. You'd say, great, take a look, it's stunning, and call me if you have any questions, and you just wait for the next one. Just keep moving them until you find that one. I love it.
Yep. That's it. So you do 2, a week. That's 8. That's 8 possible clients that you'll get if you promote your open house correctly.
Okay. Now,
I
how
bet
do you?
Every person listening to this could use 8 prospective clients.
Absolutely. Talk to me about promoting it. So most agents that I've seen, at least here in my area, when there's an open house, they'll put out a sign, open house this Sunday or Saturday, and then they'll put out directional signs with little, open house and a little balloon or something. And that's the promotion that I get. How do you recommend promoting? You're listening to the Get Sellers Calling You podcast. To increase sales from past clients and sphere of influence or from a geographic farm, learn about Agent Dominator. We guarantee your sales in writing or give your money back. To learn more, visit our website at getsellerscallingyou.com and select Agent Dominator from the menu. And now, back to the podcast.
There's a couple different ways you can promote. Old school is to just, people don't like to go door to door anymore because of the COVID thing. So that's invasive. Right. That's what we used to do. But what I like to do is have my agents go out maybe the day before, like on a Friday. Typically, almost all houses are by, a school, an elementary school, and just pass out, flyers. Meet the people. So you just pretend like you're walking your kid from school or what. I mean, dress professional, but comfortable. You don't want to look too invasive, and just say, hey, I'm having an open house around the corner. So that's a great way. Again, getting in front of people for free.
Right. Okay.
So that's one way to do it. Directional signs. If you're doing an open house on Sunday, start from the church.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yes. People don't think about that. I don't know why. Think about where's the closest church, what time is service, and you want your open house to start right after that service. And you put an open house sign in front.
Okay.
Of that church, and then directional signs all the way there.
I was one of our clients a while back that I remember talking to. He was saying that he averaged one new listing from every open house that he did. Do you have any data on, or as you've coached people to do this and as you've done it yourself, are they getting mostly buyers? Are they getting sellers as well? What's kind of the mix, and what do you say on that?
Well, it depends on the price range.
Okay.
So if you're in a first-time home buyer price range, that the open house that you're sitting, you're going to attract more buyers, which is fine because those buyers are eventually going to be sellers.
Right.
It's all about building your database. Okay. If you're in a move up price range, you're going to attract buyers and sellers. Okay. So what you want to do as well, as far as going back to the marketing, let's say I have a home that is mid-range. Okay. It's a move up. Okay. So you want to go to the townhomes maybe, and you can promote a flyer there saying that you have an open house. Okay. And then those people typically in the townhome will be moving into that mid area. You want to look at, where I live, we have an Air Force base here. So that makes it really easy for people that are coming and going. But look at industries that are moving people in and out. Sheriff's departments. I just went to the Sheriff's Department booster 2 nights ago. Those are great things to get involved with your communities. Teacher organizations, PTA, school board, even though I know school board meetings are kind of the hot topic on the news right now.
Right,
so
right now,
maybe
yes.
That's not the best one. But, people that have, good income and that need to buy housing. So you have to, and that's what I teach my clients. You really need to think outside of the box. I just met the captain of the sheriff's department and found out one of the sheriffs is my neighbor. I had no idea. So
Cool.
those are, and you pass out your cards and say, how can I help? How can I serve you?
Hey,
So that's it. But I could go on and on about all the marketing strategies.
let me share one thing out of the box, because what I find is so often realtors get what I call it myopic. They get focused down one channel, and it's because it's the way it's always done, but they don't go outside of that box. One of the things that happens in marketing is specifically telling your prospects why and how to do something. So back in your day and my day, before the internet, everything was done through the mail, and things were sold through the mail and through catalogs a lot. And I don't know, do you ever remember, like, you'd open up a magazine and there'd be this article, and there was a coupon that you would cut out to send in and request that whatever you were trying to purchase from that article. Do you remember that? Do you remember those days? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you remember they would have a little dotted line around the article, around the coupon, with a little scissors on it?
Yeah.
And I don't know if you remember this part, but all of these, here's where I'm going. They used to put the coupon without a dotted line and scissors, but they found that when they put a dotted line around it and a scissors, it prompted people to cut it out because it instructed them specifically what to do. And then the first words on that coupon was, cut out this coupon, fill it out, and mail it in. In other words, they gave very specific instructions. And they saw, I think it was like a 20 or maybe as much as a 25% increase in purchases and coupon redemptions. So taking that concept, here's what we find is that prospects, a lot of times, they don't understand why they should do something, and you have to be very clear. So one of the things you can do outside of the box is when you have those flyers that you're handing out, or if you're not door knocking, you can at least go door handle hanging flyers out about the open house, and make the comment, if you're thinking about selling your home, see how other homes are upgraded, updated, how they're looking, see what the price is. Come look at the homes that are on the market to get a better idea how to fix up your home before you sell it. What that does now is gives them a reason to come, because if I got a flyer about an open house, I already live in the neighborhood. I don't care to go there. But if I'm thinking about selling, someone prompts me,
I love that.
Come look at this, then I'm more likely to show up. And now when you say, hi, I'm Beatty with eXp Realty, how can I help you? Oh, I'm just a neighbor. We're got the flyer and wanted to see what the house was looking like. We're thinking about selling ours or something like. So now you've got not only buyers coming through, but you're focused on sellers within that same community. And as you do that, this is what my client was doing. And he started to build a brand in the community, because every time he would list a home, he would get another seller. He would list that, get another seller, and people kept seeing his name in that community, and it helped him farm.
Yeah, I'll piggyback on that because I love that idea.
Great.
Something else that you can do, because that's a fabulous idea, and this just popped up into my head, that I would take 5 or 6 homes and call it an open house tour and rent a party bus and say, I've got room for 20 people that are looking to put their home on the market sometime in the near future. And if you want to take a tour of some ideas for upgrades and what the competition might look like, come join us at 12. And I don't know how much a party, a van would cost, maybe,
right,
I don't know, $20, and then throw in some other, incentives, lunchbox included or whatever. It's all about coming and meeting your neighbors. I'm all about getting more for the buck. Like, it's great to do 1-1-1. Even on the open houses, what you should do, and this is another thing, is book 5 showings at the end of your open house that are in surrounding neighborhood. Buyers aren't coming in to buy that house.
Right.
Okay. And then once you identify who they are, because again, they're going to come at the end, then you say, you know what, Beatty, there are 4 houses that might meet your qualifications. I can show them right now. If you've got about another, half hour, 45 minutes, you lock up the open houses and you go show those 4 houses.
I
Book
love
the
it.
appointment before you even do the open house.
I love it. I love your open house tour for prospective sellers. I've never heard that, but man, to have a group of prospective sellers for at least half a day, all
Yeah.
with your attention. How do you promote that? How do you get them there?
Well, you do it by your farming,
Okay.
So you can do it by your farming. Social media is the easiest one. Your Nextdoor app. There's a million ways to promote that, and
I
then you
love
get
it.
all the neighbors talking. Oh, you didn't get on that party bus? Oh, it was so fun. Even if they don't even care, you'll have people that have no interest in listing, but they want to get out for a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
We're dying to get out right now.
I remember years back, I worked in the attraction industry, agent attraction, basically. And one of the big ways that they would get new prospects to take a look at their business is invite them to a white tablecloth place for lunch.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone will come for a free lunch. I'm thinking this tour bus approach, you have the party bus, you have a lunch at a nice restaurant someplace, and maybe you can even there do a short presentation about things that are important when you're putting your home on the market. And, I don't care what it costs, but you could never buy that level of influence with new people to be their agent than to do something like that. But you mentioned promoting your farm. I want to shift real quickly because the second thing you mentioned was geographic farming. And I love the party bus approach, especially if it's being promoted in a farm, because as you know, we're big proponents of farming. And I want to get your take on farming, what you teach on it, what you would recommend for a new person getting started in farming, and why. Tell me what farming is and why, and how to get it started.
Okay, so farming, and I'm just going to do a shameless plug for you,
all right,
Mr. Beatty.
I'm all ears, and
yeah.
Listeners,
so
stop whatever you're doing so you're not distracted and listen to the shameless plug about us.
I am a fan of farming, but not for new agents necessarily.
Totally agree. I totally agree with you on that.
When you get started, it can be expensive, and it costs 2-3 times much than you actually think it was going to before you receive a check. So farming takes a while to be able to identify. Farming is a long-term solution to financial freedom, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But it's not getting the short results. So I would tell my agents before I met you, don't send a mailer once a month. If you're going to do marketing, send it once a week. I don't care if you have to hand carry it. You want to bombard them that you are the expert in that neighborhood. Then you back off.
Right.
Sending one a month kind of just trickles, and you will eventually get a deal from that. Eventually. But you might not see it for a year or 2. With your system, what I loved about it, because I'm like, you know what, I'm going to do a farm. I have the time, I have the money. I'm already kind of known in this neighborhood. Mm-hmm. And I'm just going to give it a shot, because guess what? Everyone has stopped doing in my neighborhood.
Farming in the mailbox, I bet.
I'm not getting anything.
Yes.
It's amazing. And I'll get a little trickle here, and then they quit. I get another little trickle, and then they quit. Excuse me. And it just floors me, because it's a long-term thing. So I'm like, I'm going to do that. And with yours, it was so much more fun because you basically set up my entire 12 months. I've never seen anybody do that before. And your marketing department's spot on. The communication is amazing. And you gave me some really great ideas, but also didn't put me in a box.
Uh-huh.
Because it's like, okay, this is what you send out. Because I'm like, no, and I'm still changing things, as your staff knows. Because I'm like, oh, this is working. I like this. The personalized on the flip side has been golden for me.
Tell me what you mean.
The front is all about what I have to offer as an agent and my company. And then the flip side was just a little thing about, my husband and I going to Vegas to see the Elton John concert. And then the next one was my boys, because it's writing season, which I heard that your boy might want to take a ride with my crazy ones.
Absolutely.
So, but it just makes it so much more personal than just sending, here's the neighborhood sales. You know what? With the internet now, they can go look that up themselves. What is the value, the proposition factor that you as an agent, because let's be honest, realtors are a dime a dozen. You want to be known as the go-to person. You want to be known as the one that, is serving the community, that's making people aware, maybe some neighborhood problems, maybe having, another thing you could do, a progressive dinner for your farm. So now you've sent out maybe 3 or 4 of my newsletters and hold a progressive dinner. What is a progressive dinner? You do it with your farm. You send out letters to your neighbors and say, I'm looking to host a progressive dinner. What is it? We pick 5 houses. We do wine and appetizers at one house. We do a main meal. We do a dessert. And we just start at one house and it's for 3 hours. Come meet your neighbors. Things like that. So incorporating the farming and the mailing with other things that you can do to get to know your farm.
I love that.
Promote a neighborhood garage sale and bring all the coffee and donuts and do all the promotion for it in the springtime. That's, I could go on and on about things that you can really do to up the ante with mailers and incorporate it and making that good use instead of those just being tossed in the trash. And your company did a great job with that.
Well, I appreciate that. I'd like to ask you in a few minutes we have remaining. This is interesting because most of what we teach is on the farming side, on the past client sphere of influence, but mostly at a higher level, because most of the clients that we've worked with in times past as a kind of a premium boutique operation over here are more the top producers. But we have a lot of people who come through our ranks and listen to our podcast that are the smaller agents. I'd say probably up to 3, 4, 5 million. And you mentioned that farming is not the right approach for someone that's just kind of getting started. If someone is out there getting started, either chronologically just getting started or economically they're still growing and they're not at the level of a heavy investment in farming, outside of open houses, what's the next thing that you would recommend they do, and how do they do it?
The next thing that I would recommend besides open houses is that you definitely need to work your sphere of influence. Social media is free.
Okay.
So what you want to do is advertise other people's listings. Okay. You can do that super easy. Our company offers a service that, we can, go ahead and advertise any, EXP listing that we want. I've advertised other Century 21s or Remax or Keller Williams because I'm like, why isn't that property selling? That's a fabulous way to do it, and it's not unconventional.
Right. So let's be really simple, okay? Because sometimes I need it really simple. For me to advertise someone else's listings, and we're talking about sphere of influence in social media, tell me what you mean. What do I say? What do I do? And are you just saying, just say, hey, here's a home for sale over here. Call me if you need, what's the process?
Okay, so I'll give you an example. There
Okay.
is not on the center of influence, another agent who has this fabulous listing, and I don't have a buyer for it. So I called him up and I said, hey, Beatty, it looks like you did a phenomenal job buying and flipping that place. That place is stunningly gorgeous. I'm like, how you doing on buyers? Because you always want, what else is going to make a new agent feel good is feeling like you're part of the crowd, like
Okay.
that you're in the game. And when you're not doing any transactions, that kind of makes you feel not good.
Right. I get
If
it.
you're calling and you're going, oh, Tammy, I just can't believe I'm having some challenges, selling this. I've gotten some activity, but you're talking and it makes you feel good. And you say, hey, Beatty, I got a system that, allows me, and I got a pretty good following on social media here in our area. Would it be okay if I advertised it? They're like, they never say no.
Right.
So now you just developed a relationship with an agent, and now you just put out a listing that's not yours, and you just put it either on, Facebook or Instagram. You have to disclose that it is listed by Beatty with ABC Realty or whatever. But those are all things that I show my agents how to do.
Okay.
So, step by step on how to do that. As far as center of influence, you want to let people know. The easiest way is just to let them know that there's a new listing in their area, or there's a new sale in their area, or there's a new pending. Okay. Agents won't call unless they have an excuse. You do not want to call and say, hey, I'm Tammy, I'm brand new to real estate. I haven't talked to you for a while. I knew you from high school. Right. That's, but if you have people, center of influence, that are in your area, or people that you meet through networking events or what have you, stay on top of that. Spend part of your week saying, okay, I've got 100 people that I know that, care about me, trust me. Let me find out what's going on in their neighborhood. Hey, Beatty, did you know that house over on, Apple Street, it just went into escrow yesterday? Just wanted to give you a heads up. How's everything going? The real estate conversation is always going to be a topic.
Especially these days.
What's going on? Yeah. Do you guys, what's going on with you? What's going on with the kids? Maybe they have kids leaving. Maybe they're moving in a mother-in-law. People want to talk right now because, we've been kind of in lock up, don't talk to anybody. And it's just nice to, see how people are doing. So that's it's a simple thing to do. So open houses, center of influence, advertise other people's listings. And what was the other one I said? Lead generation.
Farming.
Farming.
Right.
Yeah. Minor detail.
Minor detail.
Yeah. So and farming, so those are the main things. But there's it really just depends on what type of personality you are and what you like, and to make it fun and make it easy. I make it easy for my coaching clients because it has to be something that you're willing to do. And I will push you a little bit out of your comfort zone because you're going to have to do things that are going to be uncomfortable. But after a while, they'll say, oh my God, that's so easy. I didn't even know we could do that.
So let me ask you, in the few minutes we have left, I want to talk to you about coaching. What does it feel like to be coached? If I'm an agent and you're going to describe to me what you do in coaching for me, give me kind of a snapshot of what does that look like for me in terms of engagement, accountability, what I need to do, how our calls go, anything like that.
Okay. So first of all, coaching with me is very different than some of the bigger dogs. I learned what works and what doesn't work for a client.
Mhm.
Okay. What doesn't work is a call every other week. That's an entry level that gets you in that doesn't work.
Okay.
Okay. So your calls, I like to boost it up a little bit. So you don't get one call a week, you get two.
Two a
Tuesday
week.
and Friday. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Because I want you to succeed. Now, the first 90 days, we do 2 a week until you get it. And then they don't want to talk to me anymore. No. Yeah.
Then they're too busy to talk to you, right?
And they are, and they know the routine and they know
Yeah.
the system because they are accountable to me every day. So by 6 o'clock that night, they have a report card. They just text me what it is. Some people, photograph their, take a picture of their DAC. What a DAC is, a daily accountability checklist. They write it out. They don't type it. I don't allow, because there's something about writing it out. So
Mhm.
they have a daily accountability that'll look like this. Call my top 10, call my 5 follow-ups. Go and preview 5 properties, write a contract. If you're new, I make them write a contract. I'm like, pick a house, go take a look at it and write a contract on it. They're like, why? Because you're going to freak out when you have a real buyer and you have no idea how to write a contract. So those are some things that I work on. And then they have a little calendar and they give themselves a grade every day, A to an F. How'd you do? And then at the end of the month, we look and we average it. And if they're C- average, then you get C- income.
Pretty
That's
simple.
the best thing ever, because people do not want to write a C on their daily report card. So it's awesome. I'll have people say, I'm going to be a little bit late. I'm striving for a B. But it pushes
It does.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm all about making them money, whether you're new or a seasoned agent. It's about getting now money for the new agent, and for the seasoned agent, it's about consistency, more money, less time.
I have a friend that has been an agent for years, and he always hovered at around $300,000 or $400,000 a year take home. And then he decided to actually use a coach, and the coach was a once a week holding accountable. And I think it was that the first year he broke $1 million take home pay.
Nice. I love it.
And then he stayed there for a couple of years coaching, and he said, I can do this on my own because I see the pattern. So he quits the coach, and the very next year without the coach, I think he drops to like 600,000. Okay. And then he realized, I need to get the coach again. He gets back to the coach and back over $1 million.
I have seen that happen a million times. And I will tell you, we are in November 2021. Start now.
Yep.
You know what? Don't wait, because you are not going to have a paycheck until April. You're going to get going about January 15th, prospecting, might get a deal by March. That's an April closing. You don't want to do that. Okay. Everybody is going into turkey mode right now.
Right.
Okay. Half of your competition is gone. Okay. Do your open houses now. There are no looky-loos around the holidays. Those are buyers. True.
Absolutely. Well, if people wanted to get in touch with you, Tammy, and learn more about coaching with you, how do they do that?
So the best way to get a hold of me is just call me or text me 661-220-0784. My coaching website is Turning Passion into Profits with an S.com.
Turning passion into profits.
Into profits. Yeah, maybe we do another call. We get into that story.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's my coaching website. That gives you a little bit of information about me and how I got started. It's a super simple website because I like to talk to people. I don't do any free, here's this script, because it doesn't work. You can get that all day long.
Right, you can.
So, and so I do a free strategy session. So give me a call, and if nothing else, you're going to get a boatload of information that'll help you grow. And then hopefully I can earn your business. So
great. Well, so let me repeat that out, and I'll put this in the show notes as well. So 661-220-0784. And you can also go to the website, Turning Passion into Profits. And that's profits, F-I-T-S, not profits as in the Bible profits. Turning Passion into Profits.com.
That is correct.
All right, great. Well, Tammy, this has been really wonderful. I've learned a lot. I've been taking notes, and I'm thinking, I'm going to add a few more things to my repertoire of what I teach on farming. This is great. So thank you so much for your time and your expertise. And you guys out there listening and watching, y'all have a very blessed day.
All right. Thanks, Beatty.
If you've enjoyed this podcast, be sure to subscribe to it so you never miss another episode. And please like our Get Sellers Calling You Facebook page. Also, if you want to increase sales from past clients and sphere of influence, dominate a geographic farm, or convert home valuation leads, check out our Agent Dominator program. We create custom content that differentiates you from other realtors, then use it to keep you top of mind with your prospects with postcards, targeted Facebook ads, email campaigns, video interviews, and more. And the best part is we guarantee your sales or give all your money back. Learn more at GetSellersCallingYou.com and select Agent Dominator in the menu. Thanks for listening to the Get Sellers Calling You podcast. Have a great day.